Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter and welcome to the channel. It's another week and that means we have more Star Wars comics to talk about. It's a big week for Star Wars comics because we have the relaunch of Star Wars Adventures by IDW, and we also have a brand new arc starting in the Star Wars flagship series from Marvel. We're going to start off with that. Look at this awesome cover. We have Commander Zahra, we have Leia Organa, and we have the visage of Grand Moff Tarkin in the background. And actually, the name of this arc is called The Will of Tarkin, and this first issue deep dives into the history of the Commander Zahra, who is in the era between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. We have the Rebellion. They are, the Empire striking back at this point. They are on the run from the Empire. The Empire has devised a way of tracking the movements of the Rebellion from intercepting their transmissions and finding out their exact coordinates by the communication between two different cells of the Rebellion. So that is what is going on. The rebels are trying to get to the Starlight Beacon, which is actually a High Republic reference, and basically that is going to allow them to get information back and forth between people. But this issue is all about Commander Zahra, like I said, so we get to do a really cool flashback and see that she is exactly the protege of Grand Moff Tarkin. It goes all the way back. If you guys have read the Grand Moff Tarkin novel, they go back to Uradu, which is his home planet, and he gives a task to Commander Zahra and two other proteges. Whoever is going to live by killing this Vermok, which we haven't ever seen in canon, but we've heard it mentioned before, and we see its head in here, they'll become the protege of Grand Moff Tarkin. So we see how ruthless Commander Zahra is and how she really follows in the footsteps of Grand Moff and excels at this task and becomes his protege, and she trains under his mentorship for years. We see really cool things like we see the Death Star, we see Orson Krennic in this issue with, Grand Moff on the Death Star and whatnot. And, Orson Krennic is still not happy with Grand Moff for trying to take over his project there. And we have another reference to the High Republic because Commander Zahra is given a mission to take out this certain seedy character, this very strange character that is somehow connected to the Nile, which are going to be these new villains, these new adversaries in the High Republic novels that take place 200 years before the Phantom Menace. So it's quite interesting that they're still somewhat around during this era. So we have Commander Zahra who messes up, kills this guy without actually getting his head. Turns out he had a decoy, so Grand Moff Tarkin pretty much disowns Commander Zahra, and she ends up escaping or fleeing from the Death Star to try to make it right to him. And as she flees, that's when the Death Star actually gets attacked and gets destroyed. And now that is why she has such hatred for Leia Organa, is because Leia Organa ruined her chances to appease him again. So that is why she is going to head with Leia Organa on this cover. We go back to the present time, and Leia Organa actually baited Commander Zahra into, putting out a information between her and the other squadron, and it was planned because they were ready for it. She zooms in, performs a pincher move on the fleet that is commanded by Commander Zahra, and that is where we leave off in this issue. So I thought this was really cool because Charles Soule has given us a really good deep dive into a new villain that we haven't seen before in Star Wars canon. So it's nice that we're actually going to take this amount, an entire issue, just diving into the character of Commander Zahra and what makes her tick. I do like how ruthless she is, and she really does feel like a protege of Grand Moff Tarkin. So what did you guys think of this issue of Star Wars? The brand new arc is starting here. Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. So jumping into this other issue I want to talk about, this is pretty big. We have a relaunch of Star Wars Adventures with issue number 1. It all starts here. This is going to be a little bit of an older age range. It's not like the Marvel Comics maturity level, but it's definitely higher than the age range expectancy for the original Star Wars Adventures comics, and this definitely shows. I definitely got a different feeling from this first issue compared to all the other issues, and I did enjoy a lot of the stories from the first run of the Star Wars Adventures comics, but I know not a lot of you did. I know not a lot of people really read this one, comparatively to the Marvel series. So maybe they wanted to scoot us a little bit higher to get more of an audience, but so far I'm digging it. So we got two stories here. We have the one that is the dark side story with Darth Vader invading Echo Base, which I'll get to because it's awesome. But we also have the Obstacle Course Part 1, which is a story about Rey, Finn, and Poe in between The Last Jedi and in between Rise of Skywalker. So with that story, we have Finn and Poe surprising Rey with a brand new planet that they haven't been to, and they've actually gone ahead and built a Jedi training course for her. So this is at that point, remember in Rise of Skywalker, they want Rey to go with them on the mission because she's been so busy training, but it's about time she gets out there. So this is before that, they're trying to get her to train as a Jedi to be more effective in combat. So they built her this obstacle course. She goes on it and she stumbles into a pirate den. She falls through this thing. There's a Quarren there and a bunch of other aliens like Ithorians and whatnot, and they know about Rey. They know that she has a staff. She has the BB-8 unit. They know all over the galaxy. They know apparently that the First Order's after her, so they're trying to cash up on this bounty. Meanwhile, you have Finn and Poe that also get assaulted by these pirates of the same coordination there, and that is basically causing Rey to fight with this Quarren hand-to-hand staff combat, which I thought was really cool because we actually see somebody go to toe-to-toe with Rey. Of course, he doesn't really stand much of a chance, especially since she's pretty much a Jedi at this point, and she ends up having to go back through the course to get back to Finn and Poe, and that's where we leave off. End of the story for this issue. I'm guessing there's going to be like 3 parts of the story, maybe more, but so far I do enjoy how we get that trio together. We only have like a year gap between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, so there's a lot of story to be told there, but it's still kind of a brief period in time in relation to other periods in Star Wars. But we also get another story in here, and it's called The Invasion of Echo Base, and this is a story that I've always wanted to see firsthand. I mean, we know that Vader lands somehow on Echo Base, and he gets in there and he storms in, and we see him too late to get to the Millennium Falcon. Well, we actually see him landing first off in a Lambda-class shuttle. I thought he was on board the AT-AT of General Maximilian Veers, but no, he actually ends up landing in a Lambda shuttle with some snowtroopers, which is something I didn't think about. So he goes there, he force pushes the door open, and he's going Rogue One mode on all these Hoth troopers. These Hoth rebel troopers are getting owned. They're getting force pushed and everything else slammed against the wall. It's awesome. You even see that little deleted scene from The Empire Strikes Back when the snowtroopers are going around Echo Base. They open up the wrong door and it's a Wampa and it kills them. So they're canonizing a lot of that kind of stuff because remember, Star Wars Adventures are canon comics. Whether you read them or not, the stuff that happens in these, it's canon. At least most of it is anyway, that I can see, because it's not contradicting anything that I've seen so far. So yeah, it's definitely cool seeing Vader just go toe to toe with these rebels, and it's also intercut with actual dialogue from the movie. So you're seeing Han Solo saying, well, we're gonna have to go another way, we're gonna have to go to the Falcon, and you see cool things like the little gun popping out of the bottom of the Falcon and blowing away the E-Web gunners. So lots of cool stuff to be had there. There's even a moment of introspection with Darth Vader where he sees the Bacta chamber and he kind of sees in the mind's eye that he was kind of in bad shape as well, and he sees his vision of Luke in a way or something like that. So I thought this was really well done. Again, I think this is a step up from our first iteration of Star Wars Adventures run of comics, and I'm looking forward to see what they do. I don't know if they're going to keep this kind of up with having the Tales of Villainy and then having this Rey, Finn, and Poe story. It seems like it's a good match to have there. And again, Star Wars Adventures comics are great because they're not beholden to a certain era or a certain amount of characters. Like every single issue can be about a completely different character. And if they're just like this, where they just focus on a little bit of a plot story that is not huge in the grand scheme of things, but does provide a different perspective, like this Vader story, I'm all here for it. So what'd you guys think of Star Wars Adventures issue number 1? Are you going to pick up the series? Let me know in the comment section down below. For more on Star Wars, I just put up my Star Wars Squadrons review for the first-person flight action game. It is awesome. Definitely go check that out. And make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content on Star Wars in general. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.